Friendship, am I right? Something's missing. Hey everybody, my name is India Moore. Welcome back to my channel. Clearly you can see I have a new mic. It was a gift from my brother. Today's video, okay, it's gonna be very much like I didn't script it, nothing. I didn't write anything down. This kind of just like off top because I was wanting to do a video about like friendship and like, you know, you can't have a good friendship without knowing yourself first. But what made me think about that is my ex-best friend. Oh my gosh, y'all don't even know. You'll know the half of it. I was friends with this girl from 7th grade to 12th grade. So this entire video is just gonna be a story time. So sit down, grab some snacks, put on a little blanket, get a little comfy, get as snug as a bug in a rug, and let's get started. So me and this girl, like I said, we were friends from 7th grade to 12th grade. How we met. So I'm pretty sure we met first in the bathroom because she went to the restroom or whatever. And long story short, I made a joke. We laughed together. Cool. And then we realized we had the same PE class. We were like, oh, okay, that's cool. Let me talk to her, whatever. So then we became friends. And I feel like I should have saw the red flags at first because one of the first things she said to me is like, oh, well, I don't really have friends. I'm telling you this right now. If someone is telling you, someone you're wanting to be friends with, if they're telling you, yeah, I don't really have friends, please take that as a warning. There is a reason they don't have friends. So I don't take the warning. Well, it's okay. You don't have friends. I'll be your friend. Me trying to be all nice. In our friendship, for a little bit of the time, it was kind of rocky during the beginning because, you know, you're trying to get to know each other. But she was like testing me. Like often, like I was getting tested. Oh, it was one time we were at lunch and we would always hang around this one staff member. And so we were hanging around him, whatever. And me and her were talking, whatever. And she was like I was standing like this a little bit, right, with my legs open, eating my lunch, right? Because we're standing up because we're, you know, yapping his ear off like he's our big brother, right? We're just talking to him. And we're having a conversation, cool, whatever. And then she decides to like do that to my leg to kind of make my legs go open to make me almost fall. And then I was like, and then I slapped her burrito out her hand. I was like, you know, when I was cussing, I was like, excuse me, you can't do that to me. And then she started crying. She was like, it's just a joke and the burrito's gone. I was like, okay, well, don't do that. That was in like 7th grade, the beginning of friendship. I moved past it. I was like, okay, whatever. And I remember so vividly, I think it was 8th grade or the like end of 7th grade. We had like a big argument and a big falling out. I like really wish I remember what it was about, but unfortunately I don't really remember my childhood like that. But we had some big falling out, some big argument. I don't know, I like genuinely forgot what it was about, but I know that we weren't talking for like weeks, like literally weeks. And I mean, that was whatever. And then I think we apologized to each other, whatever. We moved on from that. Here we are in high school. This is where the big things start, right? So I'm a friendly person, right? In high school, in 9th grade, I met my current best friend, my sister. Okay, I met her in 9th grade. And when I meet somebody, I'm like, oh, we should hang out. We should hang out together at lunch. So we knew each other for a bit. And then she brought her friend and all of us started hanging out together at lunch. So it was like a big group of us, right? The big mistake. The groups, they usually don't last. Okay. So in this group in 9th grade, it was me, the guy I liked, my current best friend, her friend, and my ex-best friend. I believe it was just the 5 of us. And then COVID happened, so half of our high school experience was online, so we didn't get to really experience much of that. But I can say that she did start to feel jealous because she was saying things that just exuded a lot of jealousy on 11th grade. This is where things take a big turn, okay? 11th grade, boom, we get back. We have like a bigger friend group because she was in band and she met this other guy who was also in band. You know, you know. And so she started to like him, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever, like, you know, like, yo, man, like, whatever. I guess they started talking, then they started dating. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, have your man, whatever, cool. Me and my current best friend were supporting her, cool. We were a little trio, cool. This doesn't even have anything to do with him, but I noticed, like, because in 11th grade, I feel like I evolved a lot as a person. I became a lot more positive. That was after therapy. I was like taking care of myself, eating right, working out. My mind was right. That's when I really started reading a lot more and things of that sort. So I was like, okay, my life is good. I'm being optimistic, whatever. Then I realized how pessimistic she was, because the only time she would talk to me is when she was complaining. And I was like, oh. I feel like the reason why it took so long for our friendship to end is because I was in denial. I was just letting it go on. I was in denial that our friendship was going to end, because I didn't think it was ever going to end, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so she starts being really pessimistic. I'm like, okay, this is kind of annoying, but I can move past it. You know, when you love somebody, you're like, I can move past this. It is what it is. It's okay. I still love you. Right? Then we get to 12th grade. Her and this guy, they break up. Then his friend, this other guy, starts liking her, who is, I guess, in our new friend group that we had for a little bit. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And I remember me and her talking about it, and she was like, yeah, you know, I don't really like him, but I know he likes me or whatever. I feel kind of bad. I was like, okay. So here we go, the spring of 12th grade, right before we graduated. This is February. We're doing February, right? So this was on Valentine's Day, actually, so it was February. On Valentine's Day, I see my school put a poster up for the library saying that there was a thing you could bring your friends to or whoever, and you guys can make little cards for each other, little Valentine's gifts for each other. And I was like, oh, this would be cute. All three of us should go. Me, her, and Soraya. That's my current best friend, Soraya, my sister. Love her. Okay. So she's like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. So it's like a little bit before, which this thing is during lunch, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Lunch comes and we're like, okay, meet us, you know, at the library, cool, so we can do this thing. And she was like, text me, she's like, oh, do you mind if I bring, we're gonna call him Hank. I've always wanted to give a fake name in a story. Okay, now that I'm doing a story time, I'm gonna give him a fake name. And she was like, oh, do you mind if I bring Hank? I was like, yeah, you can bring him, of course, whatever. And then we get there, and like me and Soraya are waiting for her like in the front of the library, and she walks up with Hank, and I'm like, hey, you know, whatever, you ready? And she was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go with who I'm supposed to be with. I was like, I understand it's Valentine's Day, but supposed to be with, you just told me you don't like him. Where did that come from? No, where did that come from? I don't know where that came from, right? I kind of talked to her about that, whatever. She's like, oh yeah, we're dating now. I'm like, I thought you just said you didn't like him. She's like, yeah, but you know, I felt bad and I don't want to reject him. So I'm like, that's not what you do. That's not what you do at all. So then me and Soraya ended up having a conversation about this. We're like, have you noticed her behavior lately? And Soraya was like, yeah, like I've noticed it too. She's been, because by this time she was not hanging around us, right? And every chance she would get to speak to us, it would only be complaining for 5 seconds, then walking away and never asking how our day is. Nothing. And I was like, okay. And it's like, I understand you're going through things, but that does not mean you could treat your friends horrible. If you are going through things and you can't talk to someone you claim to be your best friend, what's the point in being best friends? You can't come to me. If you feel like you can't come to me, I'm not your best friend. I'm not. Like me and Soraya right now, I literally tell her about everything. That is my sister. Matter of fact, she's sleeping over here tonight. Like, that is my sister. Like, I can't imagine treating her how, we're gonna call her Katie, how Katie treated me. I can't, like, comprehend doing that to somebody. I don't know if it's because I'm older and I feel like I'm wiser and things of that sort, where I'm like, that was not a friendship. Like, looking at that, like thinking about that and looking at that, and my ex best friend, all that, compared to like what me and Soraya have now, I'm like, that was never a friendship in the first place. What was I on? I thought that was a friendship. She hated me. So now we're getting to the confrontation. This is getting towards the end. The week that this happened, Soraya was out of town, so I was going to have to do it. I was like, Soraya, I can't take this anymore. I have to tell her how I feel. I have to tell her I can't be her friend anymore. I'm not being treated right. I'm not being appreciated. I can't do this. Right? She was being unsupportive and everything. Not Soraya. Katie was being unsupportive. So I talked to her. I was like, hey, can we meet at lunch so we can talk? She was like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay. And then we usually met in this teacher's classroom, our math teacher's classroom, but I was like, let's take a walk. So we start walking, and I'm telling her how I feel. I'm like, I feel like you haven't been doing your job as the best friend lately. I know you're going through things, but you're treating me and Soraya really bad. We don't deserve this. If you're going through things, you can always talk to us about it. All this, and that. And she's trying to argue with me, being like, no, because I'm like, no, you're not going to cut me off and start trying to argue with me. I'm expressing to you how I'm feeling, and you're trying to turn this into an argument. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So then she starts crying. And me, I am an empathetic person. I very much am. But like, when you have something like that go on for that long, where you feel like you're not appreciated, you're being ignored, whatever, if the person's crying in front of you, you're like, what are you crying for? I should be the one crying. What are you crying about? I was telling her, I was like, just because I'm not your best friend anymore doesn't mean I don't want to be your friend. Let me make this very clear. Mind you, I'm telling her, I'm like, again, like I said, I'm cool with being your friend. Just because I'm not your best friend doesn't mean I want to stop talking to you. You know, I still love you. I'll be your friend, but best friend, you're being demoted. I think I literally told her that. I was like, you are being demoted. You went from here to here. You're being demoted, which is okay. That doesn't mean I hate you. Nothing. Right? I tried to end things peacefully. Keep that in mind. I tried to end things peacefully. Then she's crying, whatever, walks me to class. Cool, whatever. We move on with our day. The next week, I hear a person who I knew, who Soraya knew, and she was like, oh, Katie keeps saying that she wants to punch India every time she sees her, and she just hates her so much. And I was like, that's what we're doing? Okay, bet. Because again, I'm not a very aggressive, argumentative person. I'm not, super petty. I'm not one who's gonna just talk behind people's backs. Like I said, I try to end things peacefully, but you wouldn't be weird? We could be weird. A couple more things she said, I'm like, cool. You say you want to punch me every time you see me, but you switched out all the classes we had together. Okay. Me and Soraya go and walk around the school, nutrition lunch, and find her. We find her. We're talking to her. We're like, so you're saying all this is this and that and what? And she's looking at her phone, shaking like this. I'm like, so you're going to talk, and then when I confront you peacefully, I'm not the one who was going to hit her. Soraya was going to hit her. I had to stop Soraya. I wasn't going to hit her. I'm not going to do that. But we confront you, now you're shaking. Right, okay. So, whole thing how we confronted her, blah, blah, blah. She didn't respond well. Okay, whatever. No fight broke out. We don't do that. It happened, and she ended up blocking us on Instagram, all this, whatever. And this is when we get to the thing that, really, triggered me to talk about this. Recently, she unblocked me on Instagram. And how do I know this? Because her account popped up on my suggested. I was I was stalking her page. Of course I'm gonna do that, I'm nosy. I was looking, and I was like, with how she is now and how I am now, I don't think we would have been friends. We're on two different paths, it just wouldn't work. We couldn't be best friends. It just wouldn't work now. So I think that was all good timing, honestly. Now the response wasn't the best, but the timing I think was the best. I don't think we would fit now. I was sitting and reminiscing and thinking, and I was thinking about the points in our friendship where I guess I was ignorant to what was going on, was blind, and I was like, I low-key missed that, because like the people say, ignorance is bliss. I was so happy and all this, but then when I started to realize what was going on, how I was being treated, how I was being spoken to, talked about, I was confused because this girl, she was painting me as this aggressive, mean person that everyone should stay away from. She was painting me as that to other people. Even the guy that I liked at the time who ended up cheating on me, that's a different story. And it was interesting thinking about that. And I don't know, I'll have these moments where I sit and reminisce about things, and then I think about what was really going on at that time, and I'm like, oh. But I think that's part of the moving on process from that, because I won't say I miss her. That's the thing, I don't miss her, but I did have the urge to actually check in on her and see how she was. But I'm like, someone who has that much disdain in their heart, I don't even think I should be interacting with that, honestly. Yeah, that's it, guys. This was actually a lot longer than I expected it to be, so thank you for sticking around and enjoying me and my new mic. Make sure to follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, follow my page bound. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. I will see you guys next time. A week, 2 weeks, who knows? Bye!